Hello everyone and welcome into Herman Brothers Field, as tonight we have a matchup between the 18 and 17 Anchorage Glacier Pilots and your 26 and 9 Matsu Miners. Hello everybody, I'm Reese Landon, joined by Sean Neef, and today the Miners, with 5 games remaining in the season, are going to send out Daniel Naughton, the right-hander from Gonzaga, to the mound as he looks to pick up his first win of the year. Yeah, he's actually been winless so far this year, and Miners, obviously with nothing more to play for, they are in a good spot to say the least. They wrapped up the #1 seed in the ABL playoffs on Saturday, but they'll get a chance to get a few more games in and kind of continue the longevity before the break, as they sit with 5 games remaining. It's a doubleheader today. Second game starting about a half hour after game 1. Sean will be on the call for that. And then tomorrow against the Pilots again, last home game of the year. Everyone is free admission, so if you can, come down to the ballpark. On Wednesday, they travel to Chugiak and face the Chinooks, and then to wrap up the regular season on Thursday, they are away again in Anchorage against the Bucks. So we're going to take a short break here from Herman Brothers Field, and we'll be back for your pregame lineups in just a few moments. We're back after a break here at Herman Brothers Field as the Miners have taken the field, and this is the defensive alignment they will send out. Behind Daniel Naughton. In left field, Mike Ferreira. In center, you have Tyler Wilson. Over at right, it's Ricky Nunez. In field left to right, Casey Rother. At third, David Bermudez manning shortstop. Over at the Keystone, Holden Breeze. And at first base, Nick Sorelli. Pitcher-catcher battery, Daniel Naughton and Kevin Nakamura. So that's the lineup they'll send out, and this is the lineup that the Anchorage Glacier Pilots will send to the plate. Michael McNamara leading off. He'll hit first at third base. Batting second at second base, Fausto Lopez. The three-hole in left field, it's Tom Tabak. Batting cleanup, and behind the plate, Nick Hagedorn. Hitting fifth in right field, Alec Jones. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Connor McGuire. Hitting seventh at first base, Terrence Seguida. Batting eighth, the DH Grant Weiss, and batting ninth in center field, Devin Ornelas.
Well, one thing to definitely keep our eye on is going to be Naughton's start. The last time he got a chance to start for the Miners, he had a bit of a struggle, but we do see a different catcher behind the plate today for that reason. Last time, Rando had to kill worms behind the plate all day. Today, Kevin Nakamura, who had a big contribution in their win against the Chinooks, is going to be given the chance. So I think that's part of the reason they're going to mix it up today.
He certainly earned the start. Had a grand slam and 6 RBIs total as first pitch McNamara swinging. He fouls it off. We talked a little pregame about how this lineup for the Glacier Pilots is, I guess you could say, almost out of a hat. Michael McNamara, who we haven't seen anywhere near the top of the order this year, he's at the top of the order and he comes in hitting just 153. So an interesting leadoff man.
And they must be banged up of some sorts to not have Escher or Mann. Easily their two arguably best hitters in the lineup today.
Mann is not in the lineup for either game. The Pilots already have their Game 2 lineup out. He's not in the lineup for either game. We know he was dealing with a bit of a back issue the last time we saw him last week, and it must still be affecting him because he played in Kenai, but not in the lineup today as McNamara swinging and missing. Count goes to 1-2. As Naughton winds, here it comes. And he struck him out swinging. Got him with a slider. Down goes Michael McNamara for the first out of the game.
Well, that looked a little bit pulled back from Naughton's usual velocity. Maybe just focusing on being pinpoint with his pitches to start out in the first inning. Already got a K on the ledger.
Another guy batting sub 200 strolling to the plate in the form of Fausto Lopez, who comes in hitting 185 on the year. So an interesting throw together at the top of the order as Lopez, the second baseman, steps in. First pitch from Naughton to him is a swing and a miss on another breaking ball. He's really favoring that breaking ball and getting a lot of swings and misses. It's 0-1. Coming into this game, Naughton on the year has a 5.46 ERA. This is a 6th start. As there's a breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. 8 games, 5 starts, 28 innings. What has hurt him more than anything is the number of hits he's allowed. He's allowed 33 in 28 innings, 10 walks. He struck out 21, 0-2 record as well.
That's what's nice about the Miners already having clinched the regular season, as this one's put into center field pretty easily.
Tyler Wilson strolling a few steps over towards left center. He'll have it 2 away, and now we are going to get one of the 3 forces in this Pilots lineup. The only one in the lineup today, Tom Tabak, the left fielder.
But as I was saying, Naughton's obviously had some pretty promising stuff, but not delivering maybe the numbers that they've wanted from him this season. So now that they have a few games to play out the rest of the regular season, they can throw arms like him on the mound to see what he can do and see where he might work into the rotation.
Pilots still have a chance at second place in the ABL, given it's going to be a bit tougher. They are a full 2 games behind Shugiak, as there's a swing and miss from Tabak. Coming in at 18-17, Shugiak at 21-16 as this ball is lifted down the left field line, but that's going to get back out of play. It's quickly 0-2. Tabak came into this game hitting just over 300 on the year at 304. 2 home runs, 10 RBIs for Tabak. But the one thing that Tom Tabak does not do is he does not draw walks. Just 3 of them on the year as he swings and grounds this one into center field. So a 2-out single. Tabak going up the middle, and the Pilots are still alive here in the first.
Well, no reason to take walks when you can put them in play like that. Tabak took that 2-strike count and put it right past Bermudez up the middle.
Now we're going to get Nick Hagedorn, who comes into the plate today. He's listed as a catcher on the roster. We were talking pregame. We haven't seen him behind the plate yet. We've seen him at third. We've seen him in left. We've even seen him in the DH slot, but we've seen him everywhere but catcher. He steps in here, and there's ball 1 to Hagedorn. Hits from the left side. Coming into today, 241 hitter. No homers, 12 RBIs.
It's not as though they're not using their other catchers either, as we have a pickoff attempt just at first. But they have Weiss in the DH role as well as Jones also in this game, so they're not shorthanded on catchers.
As taking off here is Tabak, but it's not going to matter. A bouncer over to Holden Breeze. He's got it, and that'll end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. A fairly pedestrian first inning for the Pilots.
And I think the best thing Naughton's doing so far is playing at his own pace. He's not rushing his windup or anything so far. If they can make the Pilots play at their pace, then this could be a good drawn-out game for the Miners, as we have 2 today.
So we'll head to the bottom of the first. Miners sending Breeze, Wilson, Rother to the plate. We'll be back and see what happens with them in the bottom of the first in just a few moments. We're back here to start the bottom of the first, and heading out to the mound for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is their left-hander Zuko Tillman. Tillman on the year is making his 6th start of the year. He's appeared in 8 games so far. This will be his 9th. He has a 2.14 ERA, and Sean, we've seen him a lot.
Oh, we've seen him more than any other Pilots pitcher so far this year. Saw him in our first outing of the year against the Glacier Pilots, where he went 5 innings and held the Miners to only 2 hits. So when he's on against the Miners, he's got some really dominant stuff, but they've also caught up to his speed, it seems, recently.
Yeah, Zuko is a guy who gets by the finesse and control. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he'll quietly put up really, really good numbers against you. He's been one of the better pitchers this year in the ABL.
But the Miners seem to like they really figured out that kryptonite problem they had. They had the same issue when they went up against Sundyne before. One pitcher that can just really break the ball.
As this ball's lined on the first pitch of the game down to third base, but Michael McNamara on the receiving end. He gloves it, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Holden Breeze quickly put away.
Didn't even give me time to finish my thought before he was sat down.
Miners this year have come in dominating these Glacier Pilots. The Glacier Pilots took the first game of the year on June 12th, and since then it's been 6 straight minor victories, and all of them have been close. We've only seen 2 out of the 6 games separated by more than a run. There's been 4 one-run games, and the Miners have won all of them. We said the last time that these two teams met how good the Miners have been in close games and just how bad the Pilots have been in games decided by 2 runs or less. And it certainly has took a toll in these Miners games.
And there's only a certain amount of games you can truly win on luck in close game scenarios. I think that's just a testament to how clutch the Miners have been playing.
This ball popped up, way up into foul ground. Mask off for Hagedorn. He'll glove it and 2 away with 2 outs. We're going to get Casey Rother.
So far it seems like both sides are trying to speed run through the first inning.
Rother coming in trying to equal Tom Tabak with a 2-out hit in the first inning. Rother comes in to the game today. As of late, he's hitting .222 in his last 5 games, 4 hits in 18 at-bats. He does have an RBI over that time period. As there's ball 1 to Rother.
Rother also has some history in this series. Was responsible for the walk-off that took place here at Herman Brothers between the two squads when he was hit by a pitch.
Rother ahead 2-0. He comes into this game, his average just a tad bit below 300, coming in hitting .298, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs. Also give him 12 extra base hits as he swings here and pops this one up into shallow center field. Coming on, Ornelas as that drifts actually a little bit over towards right center field. He'll make the catch easily, and it's a 1-2-3 first for the Miners.
So far, it seems like the pitchers are the main attention of this game, so we'll see if Naughton and Tillman are able to keep this up in inning 2.
4, 5, 6 coming up for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. We'll be back to see what happens in the top of the second. Daniel Naughton back out to the bump. We'll be back in just a few short moments. Leading off the second inning for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is going to be the right fielder, Alec Jones. 5th inning right fielder. We've seen him behind the plate and at the DH spot. Haven't seen him in the outfield yet, though. Pilots with a little bit different lineup. Once again, this is game 1 of 2 of a doubleheader, so 2 7-inning contest. Likely to see a lot of guys on both sides. Probably not just the same 8 position players going out for both games, as there's a breaking ball from Naughton for strike 1. We're underway in the second.
And there's a reason Hagedorn is in the cleanup role so far the last week, or in the 5-hole, correction, as Jones has been on his RBI tear in the last week. He's added a few to his total, so right now, just trying to get on and create for his offense.
As that ball is fouled up the third base line, we'll stay at 0-2. It is Valley Rotarians night here tonight at the ballpark, as well as Big Valley Bingo. And we thank their rep, Kathy Tifton, for her support with the Matsu Miners, as this ball is popped up in a shallow center, but it's going to drop. And a leadoff single for Alec Jones.
They keep the hitting going. Now they have a single in each inning so far.
Coming to the plate now with 1 on, none out. We're going to get the shortstop, Connor McGuire. McGuire obviously known more for his glove than his bat, but we see him at shortstop today. No Blake Wink in the lineup. We didn't see Fausto or Devin Lopez. Either of the Lopez's slide over there. McGuire makes the move over to short. First pitch to him is low, ball 1.
And the fact that McGuire is in the short position makes me think that they must be somewhat short-handed because of injury. We've seen Fausto and Wink there almost all year. McGuire putting him in such a big game right now doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
There's a throw over to first. Yeah, like we said, they're only 2 games back from the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, but not a lot of games left to play for the Pilots, as I believe this is their 3rd to last game, so they really have to make up ground quick for the Chinooks. Left remaining in the year, they have just 3 games as well, so Going to be tough sledding as there's a swing and a miss from McGuire, and count goes to 1-1.
I believe the Miners do have the most remaining games because of the rescheduled doubleheader today.
Yeah, they do. They do at 5. 5 in 4 days is hard to top as there's a sword half swinging. A lot of breaking balls from Nunn. He gets a swing and a miss there on Connor McGuire. Now the Miners, 5 games in 4 days. For the Anchorage Bucks, they have just 2 games remaining, actually. So they're really in a shorthanded spot as this ball swung on and grounded towards the hole left side. Only played a second, and they got him at second. What a play, David Bermudez. Ranging all the way to the hole, making the sliding stop and throwing out Alec Jones at second.
He was just well ahead of that one, and he was prepared for that to slip by Rother in the third base line. That's exactly what happened, and because of that, Bermudez able to get the fielder's choice.
Terrence Seguida now coming to the plate. We said the last time we saw him, he was in the midst of a big-time struggle at the plate. He was 6 of 38 coming in to that game against the Miners last week. He ended up getting a couple hits that game, got a couple hits on the road trip as well, and he's all of a sudden he's above 200. He's coming in batting 208 on the year, no homers, 3 RBIs.
All of a sudden, he's also their best batter in the last week in terms of average and also second in slugging. So he's really turned it around and maybe turned a new leaf as they get ready for a playoff run.
Throw over to first, back in safely is the runner Connor McGuire. In the on-deck circle stands Grant Weiss, and then in the hole is Devin Ornelas. Seguida back in. 2-0 pitch is going to miss in the dirt, so Naughton has gone 3-0 on Terrence Seguida.
Now in danger of walking his first batter of the game. He looked like he was really in control with those breaking balls, but now that's led to a 3-0 count.
There's a strike. Naughton pours it over for strike 1. This Pilots team went down to Kenai and had first couple games of the series rained out, in fact, and they ended up getting 1 doubleheader in. They got in 4 total games as there's a strike, and it goes 2-3-2. Actually, this Pilots team, I believe, has 4 games remaining because one of those games in Kenai were rained out. I apologize for that. That is going to be made up as part of a doubleheader on Wednesday. Their last games of the season. They're snapped over to first, back in safely.
He just can't seem to get over the fact that McGuire's still standing at first.
Yeah, it'll be a doubleheader, day-night doubleheader between the Oilers. Runner taking off on 3-2, but it doesn't matter. It's in the dirt, ball 4. Nunn has walked Terrence Seguida, and 2 on, 1 out now. And striding into the plate is Grant Weiss.
Tough break after working yourself back into the count from 3-0, but now they have 2 on, still only 1 away thanks to that web gem from David Bermudez.
So Grant Weiss trying to find a way to get the Pilots on the scoreboard first. If these Pilots were able to win a couple and they get the Chinooks to lose a couple, they go into a tie for first place. So that pitch is fouled away, but they got to win at least one of these games today. You got to think with a couple games today and then 1 game against the Miners tomorrow, and then obviously the doubleheader against the Oilers. I mean, these are games you have to win if you are the Anchorage Glacier Pilots.
Especially if you want to contend for that home field advantage. Not many games remaining left. You got to be pretty much perfect.
That ball stung on and fouled. It is a very sunny day here at Herman Brothers Field. Wasn't the warmest. I mean, it was fairly warm, high 60s, but with the sun coming in the press box, it has really gotten warm up here.
It's definitely starting to heat up, and if people came on with those extra layers, I don't know how much longer they're staying on.
0-2, swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Back to the dugout goes Grant Weiss. Nunn with a big out. Second out of the inning, and now he's going to get the 9 hitting Devin Ornelas.
Well, there's no guarantees in baseball, but if you're looking for a bit of a relief coming to the plate, Devin Ornelas over the last week has been just that, as he can't seem to hit water if he fell out of a boat. A 0 batting average over the last week.
You're putting it too lightly, I think. 9 hits, or 9 at-bats, I should say, no hits. He struck out 5 times. Ornelas obviously He's out there for his defense over his bat as there's strike one. Ornelas comes in on the year just hitting 167. Got just 11 hits on the year. And in 66 at-bats, 28 strikeouts. As this ball's grounded slowly back up the middle, and it's going to get into center field. Around third is the runner, Connor McGuire, and how about that? Maybe I just jinxed Devin Ornelas. He gets a roller back through the chute, and that'll plate the first run of the ball game.
Just as the announcer's curse seemed to be dormant for a while, it buds its head again.
Ornelas, that's RBI number 8 for him on the year. As he knocks in a run, it's 1-0, and Naughton's still not out of the woods yet. He's going to face the top of the order, Michael McNamara, who struck out swinging his first time to the plate. From Cleveland, Ohio, Kent State University, teammates with Sam Thompson and Evan Wolf, and then the late, great Josh Moroze. No, he didn't pass, but he is no longer with us as he was hurt, actually, so...
Still making it sound like he's dead.
Hope Josh is doing okay in his recovery. Yeah, he was really banged up. It was a shame to see him go because he played so well for the Miners for a ton of time during this summer. Played second, third, center, did everything they asked of him as this ball's low. Ball number 2 to McNamara.
McNamara just looking to keep this inning alive right now. He would love to expand the lead early, but Naughton looking to work his breaking ball back into the zone.
2-0, and he gets a swing and a miss. Came with a low fastball. McNamara probably looking fastball the whole way. Wasn't able to put a grasp on it, and it's gone 2-1. If you take a look at the bottom of the ABL standings, it really looks like the Miners will end up hosting the Anchorage Bucks, if not for a late Bucks collapse and a Oilers surge as this ball gets away from Nakamura. Thrown out of third base is not in time. It was thrown high. A better throw. He might have got him at third. So the runners will move up on that wild pitch. Ball tried to be blocked by Nakamura, but it's scooted away, and it's 3-1.
I think you just combined the names of the catcher and the hitter.
McNamara.
That's pretty impressive.
Nakamura,
You did that
they
unintentionally
do rhyme.
too.
They do rhyme a little bit.
A little bit.
Nakamura.
If you're making a Dr. Seuss book, they're perfect.
3-1 pitch is swung on and grounded to third. Rother up with it. Long throw across to first is in time, and the Pilots are finally retired here in the second, but not before they get a run on the scoreboard. It's an RBI single for Devin Ornelas.
So they managed to strike first and almost got another one thanks to a wild pitch. Luckily, the infield able to keep this one at minimal damage. Miners gonna look for a response here early.
So we'll head to the bottom of the second. It's Pilots 1, Miners 0. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in the Valley in just a few moments. We're back here to start the bottom of the second, and Nick Sorelli will kick it off for the Miners. Sorelli comes into this game as of late, just walking a ton as he's done all year. Sorelli comes in today in his last week. He's only hitting .235, but he's making his contributions on the base pass. He's taken 6 walks as there's ball number 1. That equates out to an on-base percentage over his last 5 games of .435.
He's been a constant problem this entire season for pitchers. Just refuses to stay off the bases.
Sorelli stands back in now. Lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch from Tillman. And it's at the bottom of the strike zone for strike number 1. The guy on the mound, though, Zuko Tillman, surrendered just 7 walks all year as he goes back to it, and this one's inside 2-1. Tillman just 7 walks on the year.
Lucky that one broke back towards the batter's box as it looked like it was starting near Sorelli when it released from his arm.
As that one misses way low, and now it's going to 3-1. Tillman on the year is averaging less than 2 walks per 9 innings, so it's pretty impressive. Nick Sorelli has him at 3-1 here, but a few of the pitches haven't been that close. He's got a chance to reach first.
2 of them have quite easily been the nicest balls he's taken.
As there's a strike 3-2. Sorelli with 31 walks on the year. The minor record sits at 36, set by Donald Brown in 2006. So he's creeping closer, and he's got a chance here to creep even closer. And that's exactly what he'll do. That pitch is in the dirt for ball 4. Sorelli takes his walk, and he's the leadoff man on base for Tyler Rando.
Part of it might just be the pure intimidation of Nick Sorelli, as Tillman, like you said, doesn't walk many batters, but when you have somebody that comes to the plate, has a home run against your team in the series, and seems to be on base all the time, you can't help but maybe get a little unrattled.
Rando stepping in now, trying to find his way aboard, and he's done exactly that as of late. Tyler Rando's last 11 at-bats, he has 4 hits, and also, to his tally, 4 walks. So his last 15 plate appearances, he's been on over half the time, 8 times. Watch his strike 1 there.
You'll never get complaints from your skipper at the end of the day if you're on over half of the time you step up.
A 1, breaking ball, and it didn't catch the inside corner, so it'll go to 1-1. Rando plays his college baseball at Gonzaga, so you have the Gonzaga Bulldog pitcher-catcher battery today behind the plate and on the mound. Tillman, back to the set, a break even, and that misses low and in, so Tillman has gone 2-1 on Tyler Rando.
Rando, currently the minors' leader in RBIs, looking to maybe expand upon his lead here should he get a good shot into the gap.
That ball is upstairs, and all of a sudden it's 3-1 on Rando. Tom Tabak in left field is playing very deep on Tyler Rando, as is the right fielder Alec Jones. 3-1 pitch is swung on and knocked back out of play, and interesting to see them playing that deep. Rando does have some power, but he's more of a line drive guy that'll hit it really all over the field, left, right, center, more of a line drive guy. So I'm not exactly sure why they're playing that deep, but clearly respecting the bat. Rando has a home run on the year. Sorelli taking off here on 3-2 as the pitch is fouled away, and it'll remain 3-2.
If anything, you would think they might be playing closer to the lines, considering how many RBIs Rando's driven in on those line drive shots.
He'll get a chance to do it again on 3-2. Rando, like we said, has been walking a lot lately, and it's been a constant for Tyler Rando on the year. He has 17 walks to his name. Not like Nick Sorelli. That is just almost inhumane what Nick Sorelli is doing at the plate in terms of walking, as the 3-2 pitch misses. It is a called strike 3, and Tyler Rando certainly does not think so. He thought he certainly had second base, kind of paused in the box, maybe shrugged his shoulders, and he'll head back to the dugout. It is a strikeout for Zuko Tillman.
These minors are definitely not quiet when they want to voice their opinions about the calls they're getting, but they've managed to work with them all season.
Shows they care, at least. Obviously nothing to play for right now. Rando trying to help his team there, but he'll go back to the dugout as there's ball 1 to Mike Ferreira, who's another guy who's been getting hot as of late. He had a slow start to the year and was really held out of the lineup a lot early to mid part of the year. He was held out of the lineup a lot just because he wasn't producing, but as of late he's been really solid as he puts this one in the air, center field, straight away. Ornelas is going to camp under it and make the catch. Sorelli goes back to first, 2 away.
So 2 down in the inning. Next up for the minors is going to be Ricky Nunez, another bat that's been getting hotter as the season goes on.
Nunez, the right fielder from Mount San Jacinto College in California.
His last 3 at-bats, he has 1 double, so would like to try and get another shot deep into the outfield.
He's down 0-1 right now.
After allowing a run to come across in the top of this inning, the Miners would hate to go quietly in the bottom of the second.
Here's the pitch, and it's a called strike, so quickly it's 0-2 on Nunez. Yeah, they don't want to leave Sorelli over at first base. He reached with nobody out, but right now it's looking like he will be left over there. Kevin Nakamura stands on deck. As Tillman steps off before the 0-2, Sorelli back to the bag. We'll do it again.
I can guarantee you they really don't want to face Kevin Nakamura after the performance he had last time out.
As that one misses, and it goes to 1-2 in the count on Ricky Nunez, who comes into today's game sporting a .256 batting average, no homers, 2 RBIs. 1-2 just missed again, so Nunez takes a couple of close ones, and he's worked himself into a 2-2 count. Break even. 2-2 swung on and lined into left field. Ricky Nunez with a base hit. Sorelli moves station to station. He's up to second base on the single by Nunez, and the Miners have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the man of the hour, Kevin Nakamura.
Slow and steady wins the race. Nunez waited on the pitch he wanted and finally found it there. Now, Kevin Nakamura, after a 6 RBI performance against the Chinooks, will he be able to carry some of that magic into the game today?
He's got an opportunity to, certainly.
He nearly doubled his RBI total for the season with last time out, starting here with a called ball.
1-0 on Nak. Standing in as David Bermudez waits in the on-deck circle. Tillman steadies. Here's the pitch. And it missed away, 2-0. Yeah, Tillman doesn't have big strikeout numbers by any stretch on the year. He has just 1 strikeout so far today, so the Miners more often than not are going to be able to put contact on the baseball as the 2-0 is poured in for a strike. So a little bit battling back is Zuko Tillman. Only 21 strikeouts on the year or 22 strikeouts now on the year in 35 plus innings.
Even that strikeout he has so far today, somewhat questionable, so I wouldn't say he has his best stuff. He does seem to be getting behind of a decent amount of hitters. A lot of the strikes are generated from when the Miners aren't swinging.
Ball's hit hard but foul, so it'll go to 2-2 on Kevin Nakamura. Tillman trying to find a way out of this mini jam here in the second. The 2-2. Breaking ball upstairs, so it's gone full, and now the runners are going to get a head start, so anything to the outfield is going to score Nick Sorelli and tie this game up. That's all you need right now if you're Nakamura. Just find a patch of grass in the outfield. The 3-2, runners go, as it's swung on and fouled back over the press box, and we'll stay at 3-2.
One thing I was really surprised about before this game was looking at the Miners' walk numbers. With how well they've done at the plate this entire year, especially led by Sorelli, I'm surprised the Miners are just about middle of the pack in the ABL for walks. Came into today with 123, now only 124 with Sorelli. That's good for third, dead of the pack.
They only have 5 guys actually in double-digit walks. 3-2 again, runners taking off, but it won't matter. Pitches away, and it's another walk for Zuko Tillman. He's issued a couple in this inning, and now David Bermudez has got a shot. Bases juice, 2 away.
Bermie's seen situations like this before, too. Against the Glacier Pilots at that, shot one right between the third baseman and the shortstop with last time we played him, Mulcahy, with a bases-loaded scenario. See if his experience pays off here, and if the Miners are going to be able to answer with their own scoring in the second.
Stand in now. Big opportunity. Sorelli off of third. Nunez, who has good speed, off of second. And then Nakamura off of first. First pitch from Tillman is a called strike on the outside edge. Bermudez likes to swing the bat, certainly. Did not go for the ambush there, and it's 0-1. Tillman long look in. Now he'll go to the line. Here it comes. Way off the plate with a breaking piece. And we've gone even. 1-1. It is really hot here. I am sweating a little bit, honestly.
It's getting a little hotter. It's definitely not a good time for someone with jeans.
As this ball is swung on and fouled up the first baseline, so Burmy in a 1-2 hole.
Now he's going to have to play the defensive stance and put up with whatever Tillman's giving him until he works it to a full count. Until then, he is at the will of Zuko Tillman.
The 1-2 from Tillman. Swing and a miss. So a big escape job for Zuko. He gets David Bermudez swinging. Able to escape the jam. Miners got a couple walks and a hit in the inning, but can't bring anyone around.
Zuko Tillman has to feel like he just pulled off a heist. He robbed the Miners of 3 men on base, and because of that, they're still scoreless.
So we'll head to the third. It's Pilots 1, Miners none. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We step back as we start the third inning. Fausto Lopez, the second baseman, stepping to the plate. Lopez, right-handed hitting second baseman from Middle Tennessee State, standing in. Nunn goes back to it. First pitch from it is swung on, hit in the air, left field, fairly deep, but that's going to go foul.
Lucky that did go foul. No one even had a shot at that. That was just a laser shot right down the third baseline.
Just a bit foul, so staying alive.
Now,
looks like a new ball out to the pitcher, Daniel Nunn on the mound.
we hadn't seen a substance check in a while. For a moment, I thought that's what they were going to do for Naughton.
Just give him a new baseball, apparently, as he'll go back to it. Goes back to the line, Lopez back in. Here's the pitch. And it's swung on and hit on a hop out to short. Burmy up with it. He'll go to first, and Sorelli fielding that. 6-3 ground out. Fausto Lopez out, one away, and we'll get Tom Taddock, who singled back in the first.
Singled on an 0-2 count as well. So Naughton was in the driver's seat for that at-bat, just had it turned on him with one single pitch right up the middle.
Taddock standing in from the left side. He's got a pretty open stance. First pitch to him is swung on and grounded over to first softly. Sorelli up with it easy. He'll go to the bag himself. That's an unassisted ground out to Nick Sorelli. And a quick couple of outs here in the third as next to the plate, For the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is going to be the catcher Nick Hagedorn.
It appears the attack plan for the Glacier Pilots' entire lineup is ambush, ambush, ambush.
Yeah.
They've been attacking early pitches every at-bat so far, and that's turned into a few hits and the run they have.
Hagedorn went down in Kenai. He went on that trip batting .308 during that slate in Kenai with a .438 on base and a .462 slugging. So he was effective, drove in the most runs on the trip as well with 4. Standing back in, had a couple of doubles. 2-0 count on Nick as Naughton tries to work his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. There's a fastball outside corner, strike 1.
A nice job to paint the corner there, make sure it doesn't turn into a 3-0 count. Opens up more of the zone now.
As this one is grounded to short, bat shattered up the line, and it's going to get into short left center field. So reaching is Hagedorn. That'll go down as an error on David Bermudez, and with 2 outs, we're going to get Alec Jones coming to the plate.
That might have been one of the cleanest cut job we've seen from a bat breaking this year.
Entire barrel, and part of the handle as well, shattering over towards Sorelli about halfway up the line.
Have I told you about how many bats Sorelli's broken this year?
I do not know that count, actually.
Do you want to take a guess?
4?
I'll say it's higher than what you think.
Is it 4?
It's higher.
He's broken more than 4 bats?
Oh
Really?
yeah, it's more.
Like, does this just include games, or does it include, like, cages and stuff?
Everything.
Oh.
He's broken majority in games, though.
7?
Higher.
He's broken more than 7 bats as this ball is flown out into right center field. Looked like it had a chance to reach the alley at first, but Ricky Nunez getting that on the run. Back to the question, is it more than 10? Is it double digits?
As of 2 days ago, Nick Sorelli had broken 12 bats since he's been here.
Oh my goodness. We'll leave it on that
Leading the
note.
ABL in that, too.
We'll leave it on that note. Nick Sorelli with 12 broken bats. We'll go to a break here from Herman Brothers Field. Through 2.5, it's Pilots 1, Miners 0. We'll be back from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. Miners back at it here in the third. It's Holden Breeze leading it off for the Miners. It'll be 1, 2, 3 in the order of Breeze, Wilson, Sorelli. Or rather, Rother, not Sorelli.
Breeze in the leadoff spot, something you always have to keep your eye on. Since he's shown up here, he's shown an adaptability for the long ball. And a big swing there, so maybe what he's looking for here.
Once again, just a 7-inning game. So this is essentially the top of the 5th. A 7-inning doubleheader as there's a breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. And Tillman's went deep into games before, not 9-inning, 8-inning type of deep, but he's been 5, 6, 7, so you could see maybe a complete game if Zuko Tillman can continue at this rate. 1-1 from Tillman is going to miss away. Another thing to keep in mind, he threw a lot of pitches back in that 2nd inning.
Faced 6 batters in the 2nd inning alone. They'd love to keep him going for as long as they can, preserve their arms for maybe the 2nd game in case that one's a closer game.
There's a ball, and it's gone 3-1 on Holden Breeze. Tillman winds, here it comes. And it missed just away, so a leadoff walk for Holden Breeze. He's able to reach first base. And now stepping to the plate for the Miners is going to be the red-hot Tyler Wilson.
Tillman doesn't seem to be giving up many hits so far, but the walk issue may raise a few questions about how deep he can go.
Wilson,
3 walks so far.
Wilson came in today 7 of his last 20 at the plate. And the slash line of 350, 391, 400. No homers, 4 RBIs during that time. First pitch to Wilson is a fastball, and it just missed for ball 1. I think most notably today, back in the dugout for the Miners, is skipper Tyler LeBrun.
Been absent for the past 2 after he received a 1-game suspension following his ejection.
This ball is swung on and fouled away with Breeze running, so he'll have to go back, and it'll go to 1-1. Wilson started off really slow, kind of like Ferreira on this ABL season, but he's really got it together. Almost at 250 batting average. He has 1 home run, 10 RBIs.
At this point, I don't know if Tyler Brunn wants many other people up there besides Tyler Wilson.
Wilson trying to bunt for a hit there. Maybe just a sack, but it's fouled towards the Miners' dugout, so he's gone behind in the count. 1-2. Another thing for Tyler Wilson, he's 5 of 8 on steal attempts, and that's pretty notable. He's 5 of his last 6. He was thrown out twice to start his base stealing career with the Miners, but he's been good as of late. Breeze off of first. Here's the 1-2. And he struck him out with a breaking ball. Went upstairs, actually, with that breaking ball. Wilson swinging and missing. He's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Got him used to looking down low in the zone with the first few pitches. Finally mixed it up on him with a high pitch, and Wilson couldn't catch up.
Tillman's 3rd punch out of the game. Casey Rother stepping in now. His first trip to the plate, he flew out to the center fielder, Devin Ornelas. He saw Breeze take off with Wilson fouling a pitch away last at bat, so he could be on the move here, but won't go yet as this ball is thrown away. Seguida unable to glove it. It's going to go into foul territory. Breeze around second. He's digging into third, and he will get into third standing up. And that one is probably on Terrence Seguida all the way. That ball hit right off his glove, and I believe this is the 3rd time we've seen a throw over to first base for the Pilots in their past 2 matchups that has gotten by the first baseman Seguida.
That's what comes when you rotate pieces over at first consistently. You can't develop as much chemistry between your pitchers and your first baseman, so you get results like that, and because of this, Holden Breeze might just tie up this game.
Runner on third, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Rother as it's swung on, hit in the air, center field, fairly deep. Ornelas ranging back. He'll have room to make the catch, but Breeze tagging from third. He'll score easy, and the Miners have this game tied up all at 1 here in the 3rd.
Rother knew his job as soon as he saw him pull into third. All he had to do was make contact and put it right back towards center field.
So a run for the Pilots that you're thinking that should not have been allowed. On a pickoff throw to first base, a harmless throw gets away and it enables Breeze to go to third. If that ball doesn't get away and Rother flies out, it's just a runner on first and 2 away. Now base is empty, 2 away. Nick Sorelli, who watches ball 1, his first trip to the plate. He recorded his 32nd walk of the year. And now he missed again, and it's 2-0.
If you're Nick Sorelli, you're now ahead 2-0. He's going to have to start centering in on the zone.
And there is another ball to Nick Sorelli, and he is 1 ball away from walk number 33 of the year.
Didn't have any in his previous game, so trying to catch up here, it seems.
And it's a 4-pitch walk for Nick Sorelli. Back-to-back walks in his first 2 plate appearances to start this game. So he sits very close now to Donald Brown, just 3 away from the tie and 4 from the record, as with 1 on, 2 away, Tyler Rando steps to the plate.
We've seen Sorelli take 4-pitch walks, but that might be the easiest one he's had all year. None of those pitches really seemed like they were close to even touching the zone.
Rando standing in. Last time he got to a 3-2 count and was hung up on a questionable strike 3 that he did not agree with, as there's ball 1 low and away. Zuko Tillman, after really having great control over the first few times we've seen him today, he's been kind of all over the zone.
Could just be a familiarity from the minors. They've seen enough of him that now they know where he's going.
This ball knocked into right field. Sorelli moving up to second. Rando puts Wood to ball and gets a 2-out single.
Didn't take very long. They've now adapted their own ambush tactics. With 2 outs, they really got nothing to lose, so they're just swinging away.
Mike Ferreira stepping to the plate now. Ferreira looking to drive in Sorelli, who is that go-ahead run at second base in a 7-inning game. Obviously, every run is even more important.
2 men on, 2 outs, so the runners will be moving regardless.
First pitch, and we got a double steal. Throws down to second, and Rando is out by an eyelash. Oh, man.
That was almost some genius level base running from Nick Sorelli, or from Tyler Rando, as he was able to jump around the second baseman for a short while before finally being tagged out.
That was an interesting play at second base. The Miners go for the double steal, and it does not pay off. Rando just thrown out, and that'll send us to the 4th inning. Miners 1, Pilots 1. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few short moments. We're ready for more baseball as we start the top of the 4th. Stepping in for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is going to be the shortstop, Connor McGuire. Stands in. And nodding back to work. First pitch to McGuire is outside with a breaking ball, ball 1.
Naughton nearly worked his fastest inning so far. Last time up, looking to do the same here as his Miners were able to tie it up in the bottom of the 3rd.
There's a breaking ball again, this time in the dirt. So a couple of balls for Naughton here to start the 4th. It'll be 6, 7, 8 in the order. Connor McGuire, Terrence Seguida, Garrett Grant, Weiss. And there's another pitch in the dirt. So 3-0 to Connor McGuire.
Beginning of this game seemed like it was going to be a pitcher's duel, maybe both falling into some walk habits now.
On back to the line, and here comes the 3-0, and it's right down Broadway, 3-1. Good crowd on hand for game 1 of the doubleheader. Was expecting a little bit of a lighter crowd with a 4:30 start time on a weekday game, but the crowd showed out as this ball is stung down the left field line, and that's going to get to the wall. Ferreira collects it in the corner. He'll get it into Bermudez, but not before it's a leadoff double for Connor McGuire as he goes down the left field line. McGuire put a good piece of wood on that one. Cranking it, Ferreira had no chance as the ball reached grass pretty quickly. Terrence Seguida now on. Runner on second, nobody out. Seguida, the first baseman, trying to find a way aboard. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it way back out of play. 0-1 on Seguida. Seguida, left-handed batter from Vermilion Community College. That's in upstate Minnesota. He waits for the pitch, and it's swung on and fouled hard down the left field line.
I'd say it's fair to argue that Seguida may be the native Alaskan that plays the most in the ABL this season.
Definitely for position players, most definitely. There is very few Alaska Native position players. There's a handful of pitchers, but he's one of the rare position players as that pitch is way upstairs with the fastball. Nakamura coming out of his crouch to snag that one, and it's 1-2. Sagita has been sort of a mainstay.
He's fairly young as well, not one of the older players on the team.
Sagita appearing in his 18th game in a Pilot uniform this year, as there is ball 2 just off the edge. Sagita 10 hits in 48 at-bats. He's also drove 8 walks and been hit by a couple of pitches, so he's been aboard an even 20 times on the year via base on ball, hit by pitch, or hit. But right here, he's going back to the dugout. He's not hitting anything. Fastball right by him, strike number 3, and 1 away. Big out for Daniel Naughton. That big first out, he'll get Grant Weiss.
Weiss struck out swinging his first time up, was the second strikeout for Naughton, who will be looking to do the same here.
Weiss just a 172 batter, 172 batter coming in, but he does have one of the 10 team home runs for this Pilot team as he swings on the first pitch and puts it down the right field line. If it's fair, it's driving in a run, and it is fair. Collected in the corner by Nunez. His throw to second base is not in time. It's another double for the Pilots. Grant Weiss going the opposite way to right field. 2-1 here in the 4th.
Well, beforehand, we had mentioned that this looked like a lineup like we had never seen before. Right now, they're producing extra base hits at a rate that we hadn't seen since the first matchup between these two teams.
Going the other way there and taking the lead. So the Pilots back in front. 2-1. Still a long way out. Evan Ornelas, who knocked in the first run of the game, to the plate as there's ball 1 up and away.
Didn't take them a whole lot of time to put themselves back in front. If that's the pace that they're going to have to keep going, this Miners offense is going to have to consistently apply pressure to Tillman with more walks.
There's a pitch off the plate, and it's gone 2-0. And even though there's nobody warming up right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see some Miners start to move around in that bullpen relatively soon. Naughton takes a long peek at Weiss at second. The 2-0 is way off the plate, 3-0.
One bad pitch away from adding another man on, and there's no one warming up in the Miners bullpen, so all the pressure on Naughton at the moment.
3-0 count as he stands set. There it is. And it hit the outside edge for strike number 1.
Credit to Naughton. He hasn't given up a 4-pitch walk yet. Every time he's gotten to a 3-0, that fastball has become reliable.
Goes back to the set. The 3-1 pitch is up high, ball 4, and Eulis takes first on the open base down there. And it'll be first and second with just 1 away as striding to the plate next for the Pilots is the top of the order in the form of Michael McNamara. And Kevin Nakamura is going to take a walk out to the mound to talk to Naughton, as well as Bubba Walters out of the dugout. We'll have a conference at the mound.
It's important to get Naughton back in his own groove. That one strikeout he had so far against Sagita, he was working at his own pace. He got ahead early, was able to work at his pace regardless of how many balls he threw. He needs to make sure he gets ahead of McNamara here, who is already 0 for 2. We don't want to repeat the broadcaster's jinx, but we will say that if Daniel Naughton is able to get ahead of McNamara, he's likely going to be able to put him away.
Long meeting at the mound. Walter still talking to Naughton. And finally, the conference is broken up by the home plate umpire. And Michael McNamara will step to the plate.
There must have been something Bubba Walters really saw about McNamara his first 2 plate appearances if he was relaying that much information. See if their observations pay off.
McNamara with an opportunity here. Old school guy, no batting gloves, just like Casey Roth there, as there's a breaking ball for strike 1, 0-1.
Part A of the plan seemed to work there. Breaking ball inside gets you your first strike.
Naughton coming to the set once again. The 0-1 with the sun glaring is swung on and grounded foul. So, like you said, he's way in the driver's seat now against Michael McNamara. Has a chance to put him away.
It's easy to talk about the plan. It's hard to put it in action. Naughton right now doing exactly what Walters and he and Nakamura had planned up.
0-2. None looking for either a strikeout or maybe just a ground ball. The 0-2 is swung on, hit in the air, left field. It's deep. Ferreira ranging back, still going, and that ball is foul. Oh, baby, he gave it a ride, but it was just a little bit foul.
If you wanted to hear the heart stop at an entire stadium, that was the sound you just heard.
That could have been a death blow. Obviously, in only a 7-inning game, would have made it 5-1. Instead, it's just foul. Michael McNamara laid into that one. Would have been his first home run of the year. Instead, he'll go back to the plate, still down 0-2.
After that crack, you could hear a pin drop here at Herman Brothers. Everyone kind of catching their breath now.
Naughton back to the set. The 0-2 again. And it missed in the dirt, 1-2. And you can definitely say on that ball cracked by McNamara, Naughton missed his spot, left it middle of the plate. McNamara looking for it, turned on it, and just was a little bit in front.
Naughton is well aware of how lucky he is right now that one was just pulled a little foul.
The 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2.
Tried to play to their old tricks for the first 2 strikes again. Looks like McNamara has gained a bit of confidence after that big crack foul tip.
2-2. Naughton stands back at the set, and here it comes. And it's swung on and fouled away. Naughton is in a big spot right now. Michael McNamara, 6 pitches and counting in this at-bat. And this is a big-time breaking point. A huge at-bat. McNamara, if he could win this, could really have a chance to give his lineup an opportunity to break this one open. The 2-2 swung on and ripped foul down the third baseline. McNamara just won't go away. Be 2-2 again.
Naughton needs this out. If he's able to get the second one here, even if it's on the ground and advances the runners, it's going to put himself in a much better position. If he lets him get on with no out, there's a good chance this may be his last inning of work.
2-2 once again. Something has to give, and here it comes. And it's in the dirt, away. Good block by Knack, and it's going to go to 3-2.
Make sure to send a thank you card to your catcher for that one. Could have easily become a wild pitch. Naughton, after getting ahead, is still looking for his put-away stuff.
3-2, could see the runners moving here. As Naughton doesn't check the runners and gets a foul ball over the minor dugout. This at-bat just continuing.
Don't know how he got a piece of that one. Bat looked completely vertical, like he was taking a slice, but just managed to catch a piece of the ball.
8 pitches and counting so far. This has been a really good at-bat from the Pilot leadoff man. Breeze playing way up the middle. Bermudez, shortstop double play position as there's ball 4. It's a 9-pitch walk for Michael McNamara, and that is going to cue some throwing, or at least stretching for the time being in the minor pen.
Talk about a gut punch to your game plan after getting ahead 2-0. Naughton's not done yet, though. He still has a big chance here with Fausto Lopez. If he can create a double play ball, we've seen it done before. Aaron Winkler did the same thing.
Lopez does have really good speed. It'll be hard to double up him.
That one's going to get away from Knack, but able to roll along the third baseline is going to be no real challenge.
1-0 on Lopez. Corners will come home with anything on the ground to them. Obviously, the force out being at the plate, anything up the middle, they'll try to turn 2. Outfield Playing pretty much straight up. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. He needed that. Got it right by Lopez on the fastball. 1-1.
I think he might need to retie his shoes after that one as he swung all the way out of them.
Looks like Lance Santerre has started at least stretching and throwing. Not off the mound yet, but he's playing catch. Tossing it over to Tyler Rando. 1-1, pops straight up in the air. It looks like it'll stay in play. Nakamura going over towards the fence and grips it and makes the catch right near the fence in foul territory. It's a huge out number 2 as all the Pilots have to stay stationary on the bags.
Seems like Daniel Naughton needs to start caroling because Christmas came early on that one.
That was a big timeout. But still a long way to go through the woods as the best hitter in this Pilot order today, Tom Tabak, will stride in.
Tabak 1 for 2 so far with the single right up the chute. A shot like that could mean 2 more runs. But Naughton.
As this ball is swung on, hit in the air, left field, coming on! Mike Ferreira diving grab! Came on in left field to make the diving catch. Would have been a couple of Pilot runs. Instead, the Pilots will have to settle for just 1 here in the 4th.
Even if Mike Ferreira would have missed that dive, he was going to lay his body on the line for that. He was not going to give them the opportunity to gap them by more than a single run.
Laying it all out there, Ferreira, as the Miners will go into the bottom of the 4th, trying by a run. 2-1 here from the Valley. We'll be back here at Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We start the bottom of the 4th inning, and Mike Ferreira, who was left out to dry at the plate to end the 3rd inning as the double steal Tyler Rando was caught stealing. Ferreira also made that great catch to end the top of the 4th. He'll step in. First pitch from Zuko Tillman, swung on, hit into center field, coming on Ornelas, and he'll not make the catch. Oh, it looked like he had it. That might be an error.
It was definitely close. He was going to have to snag it off of his shoelaces. Instead, couldn't grab it.
I would say they're going to give him a hit on that. It hit kind of the heel. It was a tough play. A play he probably should have made, but I think that'll be scored a hit. Hit off the heel of his glove as he was reaching down against the grass to get that one. So Ferreira with the leadoff single in the minor half of the 4th. Tillman back to it. First pitch to Nunez. Swung on. Hit over to short. Bobbling in is McGuire. Throw to first is in time, but they would have had a double play. Nunez hit it right to the shortstop, Connor McGuire. That was a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, but he bobbled it. Ferreira able to hustle into second.
That double play flashed for a second, but luckily for the Miners, the man that's safe is the man in scoring position.
Kevin Nakamura, an opportunity now. His last trip, he walked, helped load the bases with 2 out, but Bermudez struck out. That was to end the 2nd inning. Ferreira with a healthy leadoff second, and Tillman's going to look him back. Nobody really holding on Ferreira, but looking him back there. And we'll go back to it, hoping for a first pitch. It's also baseball card day here at Herman Brothers Field, a set of team baseball cards were even on there, on the last card actually.
Make sure you check my stats. Amount of strikes, called balls, immaculate numbers. The ratios are beautiful.
As it goes 2-0 here on Knack. Standing in, Santerre now throwing off the mound down in the pen, and you got to think that he might be on for the 5th.
At the moment, it's Kevin Nakamura's spotlight.
3-0 on Nakamura as that pitch is way off the plate. He'll take it. And he's in a really good count right now, 3-0.
See if he wants to get a big, hefty swing off while he has this much of a lead. Had a double and a home run last game.
And the 3-0 pitch missed low. It's going to squirt away from the catcher, Hagedorn, and moving up to third base is Mike Ferreira. So, as good as a single with Ferreira moving up to third, I guess. It's a walk for Nakamura, his second of the day. He's really seeing the ball well today. And now it's David Bermudez, runners on the corners, 1 out. Bermudez on the year. His vice has been grounding into double plays. He has grounded into 5 of them on the year. He's going to want to put the ball in the air here. And he's a ground ball guy. He hits a lot of ground balls. So it's to be expected, but he squares here. He gets it down. The pitcher, Tillman, coming off, throwing to the plate is in time. Safe is Bermudez, but left out to dry at the plate is Mike Ferreira. That was as textbook as it gets from Tillman, stepping off and flipping to Hagedorn, 2 outs.
So a tough out to see there as the Miners have their second man shut down.
That is a big timeout. Tillman able to keep the Pilots still in the lead. As he shovels that to home, Ferreira is out. It was a good bunt, but Tillman did an excellent job coming off the mound quickly and fired a perfect flip to Hagedorn. First pitch to Holden Breeze is a fastball on the outside corner, strike 1.
So far this game, no extra base hits for the Miners. If they want to drive home that run from second, they're likely going to need some more power.
Runners with hefty leads off the bags. The 0-1. Swung on and grounded slowly over to third. Up with it, McNamara. Throw on the run to first is offline and safe. Over at first is going to be the runner Breeze. It trickles into foul ground. 1 run scores. The second one will come around. Segita down, and the Miners have all of a sudden taken a 3-2 lead.
People who say that baseball players aren't tough, I want you to watch what Holden Breeze did just running through that bag.
It was hard to see the ball. I thought Segita, even after the hit, maintained it. But with the sun, it was almost impossible to tell. It must have gotten off the top of his glove and trickled into foul ground. Breeze collided with Segita. As McNamara looked to have an easy play at first, it was high and off the bag. Segita snagged it, tagged the runner Breeze on the way, who ran right into him, and the ball ricocheted into foul ground. So motoring around to score is Nakamura and Bermudez, and the Miners all of a sudden are up in this game 3-2.
If he had been timid with that base running, Breeze had no shot of knocking that ball out of Segita's hand, but because he put his head down and drove through it, that's exactly why the Miners have the lead. We just hope Segita's all right.
Coaching staff and trainer out to check on Segita. He took a big-time hit. Segita still being looked at by the trainers. It appears he'll stay in this game. That error will go on Michael McNamara all the way. That one was not on Segita, as the throw took McNamara way off the bag. Or rather, took Segita way off the bag.
And now batting for your Miners, your center fielder, number 44, Tyler Wilson.
Still, the Miners have a runner on second. 2 away, Tyler Wilson stepping in. He struck out his last trip to the plate.
Holden Breeze didn't pick up any RBIs on that last play, but the Miners holding on to the lead now.
First pitch to Wilson is a ball. Wilson's gotten all of his at-bats today from the right side against the lefty Tillman. Switch hitter. Standing in, the Miners stacked the lineup. 7 righties, 1 lefty, 1 switch hitter batting for the right side. So technically 8 righties. As Wilson fouls that pitch to the screen, and he's even 1-1. Game 2 of this doubleheader coming about 30 to 45 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1, so plenty more baseball on tap. And if you're in the Palmer area, come out to Herman Brothers Field. 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball way off the plate, and it's 2-1. I'd like to thank the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners 2021 Summer Clinic, Alaska USA Federal Credit Union. Tillman, back to it. Breeze off a second. Here's the 2-1, and it missed way away. 3-1.
Just when it seemed like Zuko was gonna get out of this inning, he has a man at second and is close to putting another one on first.
3-1. There is an open base. Here it is. Swung on and tapped slowly up the third baseline, but that's going to roll foul. So it'll be a full count here on Tyler Wilson. Tailgating, speeding, and darting between lanes, that'll get you noticed and ticketed by the police. Drive sober. Slow down. We want to stop speeding before it stops you. This message is brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office. 3-2 coming to Tyler Wilson, and it missed in the dirt, ball 4. Tillman with another free pass. Wilson reaching first. And 2-on, 2 out, Casey Rother striding in.
It's also the third time in this game that Zuko Tillman has walked a batter with a full count. He gets into those full counts and really can't seem to work out of it.
Tillman, we said he was great with control, but today he's kind of been all over the place.
That's one jinx I'm okay with happening.
It's 3-2, but it really could have been a lot worse. The Miners left him loaded in the second. First pitch to Rother, low, ball 1. I'd like to remind everyone that there is a wheelbarrow of booze raffle tickets, and there's also 2019 championship quilt raffle tickets, and those are available at the Beer Shack. So if you come out to Herman Brothers Field, make sure to take a peek at that, as this ball swung on and missed by Rother, 1-1. Only a couple more home games. Game 2 of the doubleheader. And then tomorrow against these same Pilots at 6 p.m. is the last regular season home game. But the Miners obviously have a lot of home playoff games coming up, assuming that they can make it through round 1. As a breaking ball is swung on here, lofted, right center field. Jones on the move. He's calling for it, and he'll squeeze it in right center field to make the catch and end the inning. But the Miners get a couple of runs on an unlikely throwing error by Michael McNamara. That trickled away from Sagita, scored a pair of runs.
Just when you think this game is going to be pretty ordinary, moving pretty fast, you get a play like that, that could be the changing point of this game.
So we'll head to the top of the 5th. It's Miners 3, Pilots 2. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We're back here from Herman Brothers Field, and we have a pitching change. Left-hander Lance Santerre on for the Miners here in the 5th. Santerre comes into this game with an ERA tick over 6. 7 games, 3 appearances, 19 and a third innings. He struck out 22. He's on here for the Miners to try to get 4, 5, 6 in the order, starting with Nick Hagedorn as the first pitch is a ball upstairs, 1-0. He made it, or rather Daniel Naughton made it through 4 innings. He allowed 2 runs, both of which were earned. Santerre back to it. Here's the 1-0, and it's in the dirt, 2-0. So Naughton will get the no decision in this game as he was unable to go 5 innings. Actually, he may get a decision. I believe it's a different thing for a 7-inning game, actually, so he might be in line for the win. The 2-0 is swung on, and that bat went flying. Foul ball, and the bat goes all the way to the screen in one piece.
Mr. Hagedorn, I think you're going to need that if you're going to continue this at-bat.
Needs to rub some more pine tar on the handle, apparently.
That's a bit of an awkward walk.
Go back and get your bat. Either way, Hagedorn back in. 2-1, Pilots down a run. They could use a home run off the bat of Hagedorn here, as this pitch goes way inside and hit Hagedorn either in the butt or the lower back. He was hit somewhere. Either way, it doesn't feel good, and it's a leadoff hit by pitch.
Just when we thought the batter was the one that was losing his touch, it comes inside, and Lance Santerre starts his day by greeting somebody pretty unpleasantly. A hit by a pitch in his first batter.
Santerre hits him, and now it's Alec Jones who swings on the first pitch, and it's a pop-up. This should be playable into foul ground. Dug out, and he lost it in the sun. Oh, man, Casey Rother could have had a play on that, but like we've been saying, this sun is glaring, to say the least, today at Herman Brothers Field. Rother unable to find it.
Rother looked like he had a play on it until the very last second, where he just kind of scrambled, flipped his glove over, couldn't grab it, and now we only have an 0-1 count.
Chance for an out there erased. 0-1 on Alec Jones from Oral Roberts as he watches a pitch up there, ball 1. Oral Roberts, obviously pretty notorious for beating my Ohio State Buckeyes in the NCAA tournament, but that was basketball. So Alec Jones, who swings the bat for the Oral Roberts baseball team up here in Alaska for the summer. And he's trying to help the Pilots right now regain their lead as there's a ball, and it goes to 2-1. Jones, one of just 7 regulars, or at least semi-regulars, on this Pilot team batting over 200. It's been really a 4-man show in terms of production. 2-1 pitch. Fastball, strike number 2. Coming in hitting .227, no homers, 5 RBIs. And those 4 guys for the Pilots, Ethan Mann, Tom Tabak, Cole Escher, and to some degree Blake Wink, have really provided much of this offense for this Pilots team.
That lack of depth could easily be why they find themselves, statistically compared to anybody, one of the best, but in the record, it really doesn't show.
And in the record right there is a strikeout for the batter at the plate, Alec Jones, as he watches a breaking ball right down Broadway. Lance Santerre gets him looking on a breaking ball, probably looking for something else. 1 out, stepping to the plate is going to be the shortstop, Connor McGuire.
I'd say a strikeout looking is a bit of a better outcome than the first hit by a pitch for Santerre.
He goes to the set here, first pitch. Fastball off the glove of Nakamura, scrambling for second is going to be the runner, Hagedorn, and he's up there standing. It's going to be a pass ball on Kevin Nakamura, as that it was one he should have had. Off the glove, and moving into scoring position is that tying run.
One of the first real errors we've seen from Kevin Nakamura behind the plate today. He's been reliable so far, almost had that throw out at third as well.
Santerre, back to the set. 1-0 pitch. Fastball missed low and in. 2-0. There is an open base at first base, so in 2-0 count, you don't want to lay one in there.
No, there's no reason to be serving up meatballs when a game's this close.
Connor McGuire, no home runs on the year, but he does have 3 doubles. 2-0 count on him. And here's the pitch. Swung on and tapped on a big hop. Out the field is Breeze. He'll go to first. Easy play. Moving over to third is the runner, Nick Hagedorn. But And out for the Miners, they're able to get that second one, 2 away, and Terrence Sagita, who took that rough collision, took the brunt of it, back in the fourth. He's coming to the plate trying to tie this game up for his Pilots here in the fifth.
We'll see if he's seeing stars right now or if he can see the ball fine. Obviously, you want to make sure any player that gets shaken up doesn't have any concussion or any other brain trauma. The Miners have had to deal with a few cases of that so far.
Sagita with the chance, as we're hearing in the other booth, there is a ton of space down the right field line. Ricky Nunez is playing straight away right center field on Sagita. Even from the left side, they are really playing him to go the opposite way. 0-1 is the count. I mean, anything down that line is easy gonna drop, but taking away doubles alley, I guess. Pitch is gonna miss low, 1-1.
The risk you take whenever you run a no doubles defense, you need to make sure that you're preventing anything from creating another scoring opportunity, even though Sagita isn't necessarily a speedster by any means.
1-1 pitch, swung on, hitting the air, right field, it's pretty deep, but Nunez arranging back, he'll get under it and make the grab in straightaway right field. Sagita gave it a ride, just a bit under it, not enough.
So tip your caps to the shading job and adjustment Ricky was doing in right field, as it apparently paid off for the out.
We'll head to the bottom of the fifth. Miners 3, Pilots 2. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. New pitcher on for the Pilots as we begin the bottom of the fifth. It's Andrew Killo from Central Baptist College, an Arkansas native, on the pitch. He was a midseason add for this Pilots team who's dealing with some injuries to their pitching staff. Killo so far on the year has only pitched in 3 1/3 innings, and to say he's been hit around a little bit would be understating it. 3 1/3 innings, he's allowed 9 hits, 7 earned runs. Also, struck out 2 has Killo, but he's in a spot right now where he's going to have to face a good portion of the Miners lineup, 4, 5, 6, and it's going to start with Nick Sorelli.
Interesting to have him come into the game at such a close point. Only a 1-run differential in the bottom of the fifth. His last outing, only in a single inning. He faced 6 batters, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 walk. That's not a good ratio for somebody who's looking for quick outs.
Andrew Killo on to pitch, and they're throwing him right into the fire. Nick Sorelli, first 2 plate appearances, yielded 2 walks. He's up to 33 on the year. Killo winds, first pitch. Fastball off the plate, ball 1. Killo is a bigger dude on the mound with a kind of whiplash-like arm angle. He really brings the ball back almost behind his, I guess you could say, almost to like the thigh area as he goes 2-0. Really brings that ball back and kind of whiplashes it over.
Looks like Indiana Jones cracking his own whip.
Creates some more velocity, but struggles to command it as Nick Sorelli is 1 ball away from walk number 34.
I'm sure it works great if you swing at it, but right now, Nick Sorelli is seeing no reason to do so.
He's trying to set the minor team record in just 2 games of this doubleheader, and there it is. Walk number 34. 3 plate appearances, 3 walks. Nick Sorelli reaches first base.
Last 2 walks came on 8 pitches.
I mean, that is just getting it done. Kilo unable to hit the zone, and probably not the start you were anticipating if you're the Pilot manager, Robert Anders.
How'd you like that stone cold turn by Sorelli too?
He knows how close
that
he is.
pitch
to
had
that
barely
record.
even crossed, and he was already on his way to first.
He's got such a good recognition of the strike zone that he basically calls his own balls and strikes back there. 1-0 though to Tyler Rando has 5 straight balls for Andrew Killo.
It's just Nick Sorelli's world, people. We're all just living in it.
1-0 on Rando. As there's ball 2. Rando's last trip to the plate, he went opposite field. At a single. And now out to the mound. For the Pilots is the catcher, Nick Hagedorn. He'll go have a conference. And it appears maybe that Pilot bullpen is starting to stir a little bit. Some moving around and stretching as Killo starting out with 6 balls. In the on-deck circle is Patrick Donovan, who was inserted into the game for Mike Ferreira. You can only assume that maybe Ferreira was injured on that play at the plate earlier where he slid in. That was the last time we saw him. He slid in at the plate on the Bermudez suicide squeeze he was thrown out on.
You never want to speculate, but we do hope he's doing all right.
3-0 now as he missed upstairs with a fastball. It's ball 7 to start out for Andrew Killo.
It comes as more of a surprise that he didn't have more walks in his last outing with how unruly he is right now.
There's ball 4, and this has been a nightmare to start it for Andrew Killo. And Patrick Donovan, with his first at-bat of the game, will look to get the Miners an even bigger lead.
These are the kind of performances that can even result in the pitcher getting the yips. 4 or 8 pitches in, still hasn't recorded his first strike.
Lefty on lefty here. We haven't seen Donovan lay down a sac bunt this year, but he very well could here. And that's exactly what he's going to square to do as the first pitch is a ball off the plate, ball 9. This is tough sledding right now for Andrew Killo. Miners would love just to advance the runners, but if he's not going to throw a strike, don't square. Does square down here. He'll get it over to the pitcher. Killo off the mound, fields it. Throw to first is in time.
Barely.
Lopez had to stretch for that. He nearly threw that ball into right field. Lopez making a long stretch to field it. So Donovan does his job. He gets the runners over with the sac bunt. And now Ricky Nunez has a chance to extend the minor lead. Nunez already has a hit on the day. He singled back in the second. Also grounded out to short, which was almost a double play, but McGuire out there at short fumbled with it and was only able to get the out on Ricky at first base. So second and third, 1 away. First pitch is low, ball 1.
Ricky's been watching. Although he is a very aggressive batter with the way he's been recently, he likes to try and stay hot. He's been observing on the sidelines. He knows that he really can't seem to find the strike zone right now.
Ball 2, and to start out this outing for Andrew Killo, it's been 11 balls in just 1 strike. The only strike was a sac bunt. 2-0, and he finally gets his first looking or swinging strike. That one looking, Nunez taking 2-1. Killo trying to paddle here. Infield playing fairly back. Nunez swings and grounds this one past the third baseman McNamara, but just foul.
I think they might want to pull out the ruler for that one,
And
only missing by inches.
Casey Sherman is trying to appeal to the third base umpire that ball hit the bag. I really thought that ball may have been fair from our vantage point, but apparently not.
Even the launch angle from the hot corner there did seem kind of odd. Wouldn't be surprised if there was some bad contact, but no instant replay here in the ABL.
2-2, Nunez trying to stay alive. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball upstairs, ball 3. There is a base open at first base, so they could walk him without yielding a run. Kevin Nakamura standing on deck. Nakamura's first couple at-bats today have both been walks. Killo's 3-2. Swung on and grounded to short. Up with it is McGuire. The only play is the first. Nunez is out, but in to score is Nick Sorelli, and the Miners extend their lead. That makes the Patrick Donovan sack bunt all that much more big, and it's 4-2 Miners here in the fifth.
Ricky Nunez expanding the lead for his team. Now we'll see if Kevin Nakamura wants to keep this inning alive. For somebody that's taken 2 walks, seems like he's found the ideal candidate pitcher.
Still runner at third, Nakamura, who's been on base already a couple of times, looking to extend this lead further as he watches strike one at the knees. Nakamura's caught fire as of late. You were saying he'd been trying out a new batting stance? Well, it looks like it's working.
He said he'd been trying a new power swing every now and then to try and recreate some of the early success he had in the season. Last game, he lifted a double and a home run. You could say that the new swing definitely seems to be working. We'll see if it's more consistent today, as he hasn't had a real reason to swing the bat.
Down 0-2, he swings here and fouls that one off, so to stay at 0-2. Goal for the Miners, in the words of Pete Christopher, is to win 30 games, and that is something the Miners have never did in a 40-game ABL set. A few decades ago, they played much more than 40, so they got to 30 wins at points then, as Nakamura watches the ball there 1-2. They got to 30 wins at points then, but ever since they shrunk down to just 40 games total, the Miners have never got to that 30-win plateau. 1-2 on Nak. Here it is, and it's inside for ball 2. Actually, it's going to hit him. Just glanced off Nakamura. So how about that? Nakamura, no at-bats today. He's got 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
It's like he didn't even show up, but he still contributed to the team's cause.
Bumping up that on-base percentage any way you can, I guess. And right now, you got to be thinking Kevin Nakamura, who's been kind of on the back burner in terms of starts lately, is going to earn himself a lot more playing time as we head right into the playoffs.
They might even just slide him in as a designated hitter should Mike Ferreira need some extra time before the playoffs to let himself get healthy. A big bat like Nakamura could be a huge addition.
Bermudez swinging first pitch here and fouling away, and Tyler Rando's been really good offensively too, so you have a good problem to have, having 2 good hitting catchers, and Bermudez here down 0-1. The Miners can get to that 30-win plateau with 4 out of their next 5 games, including today, being wins. 26-9 on the year. Here's the pitch, swung on and hit fair down the line, but stabbed on a knee. Michael McNamara makes the play on a screamer.
Turned into Neo from the Matrix there. Everything slowed down, able to lean back, make the grab, and put it away for the 3rd out. Now we're going to see how much of an impact that possible base hit on the 3rd baseline could turn into, as we only have 2 innings left.
We'll head to the 6th. It's Miners 4, Pilots 2. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We're back here in the 6th. Miners 2-run advantage, and They will get 8-9-1 in the order for the Pilots. Grant Weiss, the first one to greet. Lance Santero goes back out for his second inning of work so far on the day. For Grant Weiss, he struck out swinging, and then in the fourth, he actually unbroke the tie, gave the Pilots a 2-1 lead, at least momentarily, as he went the opposite way with a double. Watches strike one there. Check swing. It was a ball out of the zone. Apparently, he went around on the check swing.
We've seen quite a few unusual events unfold in today's game. Not that many hits, but the errors alone seem like they really told the story.
2 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors for the Pilots. For the Miners, it's been 4 runs on just 3 hits and 1 error. They have certainly worked the base on balls as that ball's fouled to the screen, and it goes 1-2 on Grant Weiss.
The Miners are hitting the ball less effectively, arguably. They have no extra base hits to this point, but taking advantage of everybody that gets on, and that comes after an inning where they stranded 3.
Santerre, back to the line, here it comes, and it missed way off the plate. Count is going to be evened at 2. The only ABL action today is this Miners Pilots doubleheader. Day off for the Oilers, Chinooks, and Anchorage Bucks.
So we hope you guys like us because you got only us really today.
2-2, swung on it, fouled to the screen. That ball was seared to the screen, actually. 2-2. Sun continues to really make this field as bright as it's been. This might be the brightest day we've seen this year at Herman Brothers Field. I mean, it is bright on that field.
And it's drawing out a crowd. The crowd now filling in. I'm seeing a lot less empty spot in the stands, especially on the Pilot side.
3-2 count. I'd like to remind you tomorrow's game is actually free admission day. Thank you to IBEW Local 1547 for making that happen. Yeah, all fans tomorrow are free, so pack Herman Brothers Field for the last regular season home game. They'll have at least 2 home playoff games, depending on how that series goes, and then potentially a championship series here at Herman Brothers Field as this ball is skied deep down the left field line, but it'll go foul.
Almost headed into the woods. We've heard plenty of stories since we've been up here about past Miners team. One story that always seems to stand out to us is the longest home run being hit across the street over in left field.
Takes a shot to get one over there. That was back when aluminum bats were around, though, so they'll dampen it a little bit. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled away again. Good at bat here by Grant Weiss.
Making him work for it. Next up is going to be the 9th pitch of this at-bat, so if Santerre was hoping for a quick 2 innings, he's going to have to face a rude awakening.
No warming in the Miner bullpen. There is some throwing in the Pilot bullpen, however. Santerre back to it. 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. And he missed low. A really good at-bat for Grant Weiss as he reached first. Leadoff walk for the Pilots here in the 6th.
First walk for Santerre on 4 balls. Of course, started his afternoon here with a hit by pitch. But as long as he doesn't really string them back-to-back, Santerre seems to remain effective. It's when he starts to collect walks one after another that his control really falls off.
First pitch coming. Fastball, strike 1 to Devin Ornelas, who had that RBI single, started the scoring in this ball game. That was back in the 2nd inning. Base hit back up the middle. Weiss off first. Doesn't have great speed, so they have a chance to turn the double play. Ornelas at the plate, however, does have pretty solid speed. Swing and a miss. Ornelas fanning there. And if you remember back last week, Will Johnston against Devin Ornelas, it wasn't a contest through the first 2 at-bats where he faced Johnston. It was 2 strikeouts on 6 pitches total. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3 each time. 5 swings and misses. 0-2 pitch, missed in. So it'll go 1-2 on Ornelas.
Ornelas is definitely appreciative when he pulled up to the park today and didn't see Willie Johnston throwing for the first game.
Hopefully Willie Johnston continues to be okay. He's looked okay. He's been around the team ever since he was actually injured a few days ago in batting practice. He was hit by a a ball that just got away, as this one's going to get away from Nakamura, and it's outside to the backstop. That was a wild pitch from Santerre, 2-2.
You never want to mess with a pitcher's moneymaker.
Johnston hopefully will either start. We're not sure if he's going to start game 2 yet. He could start game 2. He would be technically in line, but they could opt to skip his start so he's available for game 1 of the playoffs against either the Bucks or the Oilers on Friday. Bubba Walters out to the mound to talk to Santerre.
Could prove to be smart to lay off on using Johnston for the time being. Obviously, swelling gone down a fair amount. He's looked good. He seems like he's acting fine, going through his motions as always, but you never want to risk a comeback shot that could worsen things for your best starting pitcher, as he was awarded with the minors' last award ceremony yesterday.
As there's a pitch off, and the count has gone full. So full count. Santerre looking to get at least an out here. Does not want to walk Ornelas and turn it over to the top of the order. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He went out of the zone. Ornelas fishing, and he's down for the first out here in the 6th.
The only thing he's going to catch on a fish like that is a big old K. Santerre happy to put away the first.
Santerre with his second strikeout of the afternoon, number 24 on the season. Michael McNamara, who worked a long walk his last trip up. Righty on lefty. The righty McNamara. Here it is. Breaking ball, strike 1. Good pitch from Santerre. McNamara played his high school ball at the prestigious St. Ignatius High School. It's a Cleveland high school sports powerhouse.
When you say powerhouse, do they just dominate in everything?
Every sport.
Everything?
Football, I believe they have over 20 state titles. Baseball, that's actually St. Ignatius. That is where Derek Dietrich played his high school baseball, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Baseball powerhouse. Always really good basketball teams. They're good in everything. Right now, though, McNamara, he's not in a good spot. He's down 0-2.
Yeah, he's going to miss his winning ways. If he keeps playing from behind, he's trying to do everything he can to contribute, though. Pulled up a walk in his last at-bat after an extended appearance.
0-2. Swung on, hit in the air, center field. That's going to drop in front of Donovan. He's going to come up throwing, but the runner Weiss wasn't sure if that one was going to be caught or not. Throw is going to go down a second, and they're going to get McNamara. Oh, man, a gamble for the Pilots does not pay off. Throw came in. It was cut off by Nakamura, who was standing a few steps away from the plate. Caught it, fired to second, and they get McNamara. So it'll go down as a single and a throw out by Nakamura down to second base, slapping that tag down. Was Holden Breeze.
Can we talk about how nonchalant Holden Breeze was about that?
I think he helped him or helped himself and helped Nakamura doing that, because I don't think the runner McNamara wasn't running with the biggest sense of urgency. Fausto Lopez cracks this one back up the middle and into center field. So an RBI single for Fausto Lopez. That runner ends up scoring even after the gaff on the bases by McNamara. 2 outs, runner on, and next to the plate comes Havoc.
They were so close to escaping the inning scot-free. Instead, it's now a 1-run ball game.
This is a big spot. Need to get out of the inning. Lefty on lefty matchup. And hey, if McNamara is safe there, it's probably first and third now with just 1 out. So fortunate to get that out as that ball is skied into foul territory and back out of play 0-1.
One man on, still 2 outs here.
And we can hear the Pilot radio group kind of talking about their lack thereof success in 1-run baseball games this year. They have really struggle in that department. Statistics-wise, they stuffed the stat sheet as taking off here for second. Throw down to second base. In time. No! Oh, baby. Called safe. Bermudez certainly thought he had him. Instead, swiping that back, Fausto Lopez. He's up to second base.
Based on the pure shock in that reaction, I'd say almost everybody here thought he was out. He had a couple more feet to go when the ball got there, but just slid around him.
Tricked me. I mean, I thought he was out. Bermudez certainly came running straight off the field as Bubba Walters giving signals out to his middle infielders. Counts 1-1 on Tom Tabak. So it looks like Evan Floyd is standing ready in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. Floyd off the mound in the bullpen. He's kind of conversing with Tyler Rando, who's catching his warm-up.
Maybe just strategizing at the moment, seeing who they have right now. One more out, and these Pilots are down to their final 3 outs in the game.
This ball skied deep down the left field line, but it's going to go foul. So Tabak back even. It's 2-2. Lefty on lefty, Santerre, we could see him deploy a breaking ball. Front door breaking ball attack. Maybe getting fishing. 2-2, something's got to give. Here it comes. Check swing. Did he go around? He did, but he made contact with it.
So not giving up just yet.
Tabak evidently just tipped that ball a little bit.
It seemed like a half-hearted swing as he wasn't really confident about going around with it. He's honestly just lucky to make that small bit of contact so he can keep this inning going.
2-2. Tabak, best hitter in this Pilot lineup for game 1. Trying to show he's the best. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball inside, and it got him. Hit him on the shoulder blade. That right shoulder blade. Tom Tabak hit by a pitch. It's the second hit by pitch for Santerre, and now it's runners at first and second for the cleanup hitter, Nick Hagedorn.
Can't believe the Cubs are dealing Chafin.
Andrew Chafin on his way to Oakland.
Yeah, that was how my half inning went.
And it appears that Lance Santerre is going to be going back to the dugout. We're going to have a new pitcher on here for the Miners in the 6th. We'll tell you about him when we come back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. New pitcher on for the Miners here in the 6th. It's right-hander from the University of West Florida, Evan Floyd. He looks to squeeze out of a jam he inherited. First and second. Coming to the plate for the Pilots is Nick Hagedorn. Floyd on the year, 12 games, 18 in the 3rd innings. He's got a 2.95 ERA and a 9-19 base on ball to strikeout ratio. First pitch in the dirt, good block. Nakamura, ball 1.
Floyd represents a triple-headed monster at the back of the Miners bullpen, with Wolf, Floyd, and Majors making up what's really a sledgehammer to close out games.
1-0, here it comes. Swung on and bashed right at Holden Breeze. Hit it hard on the screws, but to Breeze. So Floyd comes on, does his job, and gets out of the 6th with no more damage.
Thank Holden Breeze for a lot of the plays there. The tag from Kevin Nakamura's good throw and that quick reflexes grab. Because of him, the Miners only need 3 more outs to hold on to this save.
So we head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Miners 4, Pilots 3. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We're back here as we start the bottom of the 6th inning, and a new pitcher from Cal Baptist University, right-hander William St. Marseille, who actually leads this Pilot team in appearances on the year. 13 appearances, 16 innings. He's allowed 12 hits on the year. His main issue has been walks. He's allowed 11 walks, struck out 12, but somehow, despite all the hits and walks, his ERA remains at 2.81 coming in. No wins, 2 losses. St. Marseille on here to just try to keep the game the way it is, as he'll get the leadoff man, Holden Breeze. St. Marseille also with a save on the year. Breeze stepping in. These Miners would really like an insurance run to make things a little bit easier. Alex Majors is actually on the mound, stretching a little bit in the Miner pen. We'll see if it's him, as Breeze squares the bunt here, went around strike 1, didn't make contact.
Right now, the Glacier Pilots using Marseille in almost a closer-type position. The last appearance he made was only an inning deep, and in 4 batter space, didn't allow anybody to come across. So trying to bridge the gap so they can make it only a 1-run comeback.
0-2 here on Breeze. He's reached on a walk and an error, as there is a ball upstairs, 1-2. South Mountain Community College. An interesting fact about him is his college coach at South Mountain is actually the head coach of the Savannah Bananas. I'm sure some people out there have heard of them. They're probably the most famous summer collegiate team right now. There's ball 2 in the dirt.
Definitely the most famous this summer. They've taken over social media with all their wild antics.
Promotions and everything else, as standing back in is Holden Breeze. 2-2, something's got to give. Here it comes. Way inside, 3-2. So we stand here in Alaska at 6:31 local time, just over 2 hours. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Breeze back in. It's a full count, and here it comes. And he watches that one upstairs. So from down 0-2 to working at walk. It's Holden Breeze. He's a leadoff walk here to start the 7th. Or start the 6th, rather.
At this point in the game, I don't think it's far-fetched to say the Miners have more walks than hits.
On the day, this is the 4th Miner to lead off the inning with a walk.
They have 9 walks to this point, not including the hit by pitch.
And out of all those leadoff walks, Breeze is the 4th. 2 of the 3 came around to score. So Breeze has, you'd think, a pretty good chance of scoring here as Wilson gets into this one, hitting it down the left field line. That's a fair ball. It's going to keep rolling. Breeze around actually, no, it goes foul. Couldn't really see it. It looked like it dropped, but it went just foul.
Looked like it was close. Could have gone either way. Miners.
Hate to put that out there, and Wilson's back at the plate.
The Miners kind of grumbling that one off as Breeze could have likely pulled into 3rd, if not head home.
It is so bright here, it's hard to tell, but roll the foul ball, it's 0-1. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike at the knees, and Tyler Wilson saying, "Are you kidding me?" Umpire takes his mask off to have a word with Wilson. That pitch looked down.
I have to
side
agree with Wilson on that one.
I side with Wilson on that one. That pitch looked way down.
We've had a pretty consistent zone throughout the game so far, but that was definitely a case of an expanded zone down below.
Wilson may have had a case. Instead, he's at 0-2. Here it is. And it's up high, 1-2.
There's your forgiveness letter.
I'm surprised the umpire took off his mask to talk to Wilson. 1-2. Breeze off of first. Here's the pitch from St. Marseille, and it missed low and in the dirt. Collecting it is Hagedorn. He's able to corral that. He got a little assistance from the umpire as well. He was standing there. It looked like it may have tipped off Hagedorn's glove and maybe at the ankle of the umpire, so saving maybe a pass ball or a wild pitch there. Anyhow, 2-2. Here's the pitch, and it's way outside, 3-2. So back-to-back batters. St. Marseille's been in the driver's seat. 0-2. Walked Breeze on 4 straight pitches. 0-2 on Wilson. He's thrown 3 straight balls.
This for their chance at their 10th walk of the game for the Miners.
Taking off here is Breeze, and it works perfectly. Rounding second into 3rd is Holden Breeze. Wilson standing at first, and that was a double play if Breeze wasn't stealing there. I mean, that ball was hit directly at the shortstop McGuire, but he had to go cover the bag as Breeze took off and went right through the vacated hole. All McGuire could do was look and watch. It's a base hit for Tyler Wilson. Runners at the corners, nobody out for the meat of the Miner lineup.
That's called psychological warfare by Holden Breeze. He pulled them out of the perfect spot that could have led to the double play.
That has got to be deflating for William St. Marseille, who thought he had a ground ball for maybe a double play. Instead, the Miners execute the hidden run. Casey Rother standing in, and you'll watch a breaking ball for strike 1. Miners at least got to get 1 run here, as Alex Majors is now sitting down the pen, although his warm-up jacket is off. 0-1 on Rother. Here it comes. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Ball was off the plate, but 1 around, and it's going to be 0-2.
Now, if you're Casey Rother, you need to try and focus on making any kind of contact possible, even if it's an out. You have enough power to put something deep for a sac fly. Already done so in this game.
Taking off Wilson, swung on, hit in the air, center field. Ornelas going back. He'll camp under it, make the catch. Breeze coming for the plate. He'll score easy. Wilson back to first. It's a sac fly for Casey Rother. A productive out. The 2nd time today, Holden Breeze has scored on a sac fly. 2nd sac fly of the day as well for Rother. He played it him the 1st time. Played it Holden Breeze, so Rother, although he hasn't had a hit yet today, is finding ways to be productive. Nick Sorelli, 3 walks on the day so far. Can he make it 4? First pitch. Ball. Outside. It's 9 balls in a row to Sorelli when he's standing in the box.
Is it
Actually,
just
10,
me, or
10 balls. 10
does
balls.
everybody seem to pitch a little bit worse when Nick Sorelli steps up?
Yeah, and they're just afraid to hit the zone, I guess. And there is finally a strike, so it bucks the trend of 10 straight balls to Nick Sorelli, and it's 1-1.
Sorelli might have zoned out and forgot he was batting the last time he's come up. He hasn't had to do anything.
1-1. Swung on and fouled, so he's down in the count, 1-2. 5-3 Miners, if you're just joining us here in the bottom of the 6th. Only a 7-inning game in game 1 of the doubleheader. St. Marseille back to the set. The 1-2 pitch, here it comes. And it's way inside for a ball, 2-2. Sorelli, a couple balls away from making it number 35 of the year.
St. Marseille so far is eating up a ton of pitches.
That pitch was about a bucket sized off the outside edge, but it's called for strike 3. Sorelli, you can tell he didn't like it, but he doesn't say anything. He'll head back to the dugout, 2 away.
I'm definitely going to have to ask for the umpire scorecard on this game afterwards. That one was a bit egregious.
I don't know about that one. That was halfway in the other batter's box.
Somebody might need to find the 3 blind mice track.
Don't want to get ejected. First pitch to Tyler Rando swinging. It's a grounder out to short. Can of corn for Connor McGuire. He'll flip to Fausto Lopez, and that'll end things here in the 6th. But the Miners do get a run. It's a sac fly off the bat of Casey Rother. We're going to head to the 7th. It's Miners 5, Pilots 3. We'll be back here from Herman Brothers Field in just a few moments. We start the top of the 7th inning. Last inning of action, game 1 of 2 in the doubleheader. And Evan Floyd back out trying to earn the save for the Miners. Floyd this year has earned 3 saves. He's looking for his 4th. Alex Major is obviously normally the closer, 9 saves on the year, but they use Floyd occasionally, and it's a really good problem to have. 2 good closers as he gets a swing and a miss there for strike 1 on Alec Jones.
Floyd has looked even difficult to just get a hit on recently. Last 3 innings he's pitched, 3 hits allowed, only 14 batters faced. He doesn't let too many people get on and attacks the strike zone well.
Breaking ball for a ball there, and it's 1-1 on Alec Jones, who's 1 for 3 on the day. 5, 6, 7 due up. Jones, McGuire, Seguida. Floyd steadies. 1-1. Fastball low. 2-1. Not out of the wind is Floyd. Straight stretch. All one motion. Was a starter at the University of West Florida, but here for the Miners after throwing 100-plus innings at West Florida, he's more of a relief guy. 2-1. Swung on, hit in the air, left field. Ranging over is the left fielder, Tyler Wilson, but it's out of play. Another thing to note, defensive substitution. Jared Sweeney checks in at third. Casey Rother out of the game.
Rother resigns with his 2 RBIs on sac flies, and that sac fly may be the same reason that Evan Floyd's still in this game as the closer.
Floyd with an opportunity now to put away Alec Jones on strikes. 2-2 coming. Here it is. Breaking ball outside. 3-2.
His last chance to test the batter's patience. Now Floyd can't make any mistakes.
3-2. Floyd sets. Big breath. Here it is. Grounded down to third. Bobbling it momentarily was Sweeney, but he's able to recover in plenty of time. Easy throw over to first. 5-3 ground out is how we start the seventh. And one away, stepping to the plate is going to be Connor McGuire.
Defensive substitution already getting in on the action. Miners only 2 out away from ending this one and adding number 27 to the season total.
McGuire has scored a pair of runs on the day. His first, he came around on a fielder's choice. His second, he doubled to lead off the fourth and came around to score on a double from Grant Weiss. So he's in now, trying to reach base. If he could reach base, the tying run sits in the on-deck circle. First pitch, fastball, strike one. 0-1 on McGuire. Enjoy the game tonight, fans, and remember to bring a sober driver home. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Don't drive impaired, arrive alive. This message is brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office. This ball skipped on the ground over to second slowly, but Breeze over there in plenty of time to make the play. And now down to their last out are the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and Terrence Seguida is all that stands between the Miners and their 27th win of the year.
Cool and collected, just like the Breeze, holding that time, ranging over, made a perfect read on where it was going.
With a win in Game 1 of this doubleheader, the Miners' win percentage would go to 750 on the year. That's 3 out of every 4. Seguida, fastball, strike one. It's been a game where we've seen a lot of awkward and odd plays, but the awkward one that decided it was that throwing error by McNamara that Seguida got knocked down on, and now Seguida down to his last strike 0-2. He got knocked down on, the ball got away, 2 runs scored. Without that, we're in a tied game.
Oh, that at the time was a 3-run swing. And that was the difference in the game here.
0-2 fastball off the plate, 1-2. One more strike for Evan Floyd. He steadies on the mound. The 1-2, here it comes. And he struck him out, pitch in the dirt. Nakamura up with it. Throw down to first, and there is win number 27 of the year. The Matsu Miners continue their improbable stretch. 5-5 through their first 10 games to start the year, and they now sit at 27-9.
Now nothing seems like they can stop this team, but they're not done for today. They have another game in just a couple minutes, less than an hour actually, and it's against the same Glacier Pilots team, so maybe going to be looking to strike twice and move that up to 28.
Pilots fall to 18-18. The winning pitcher is actually Daniel Naughton. In only a 7-inning game, he went 4, and he'll get credit for his first victory of the year. Taking the loss for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots is Zuko Tillman. Evan Floyd picks up save number 4 of the year. So I've been Reese Landon alongside Sean Neef, saying so long, at least for about 30 to 45 minutes. Make sure to tune in to Game 2 of this doubleheader here from Palmer. We'll be back shortly for Game number 2.